5:13 p.m. I apologize for running late. Welcome back to the Wild Snap, episode 7. Just me and Toby today, but that's okay. The heart and soul of the operation. Once again, I apologize for the delay. The last show definitely took longer than expected on my end, but that is okay because we are here for the Wild Snap. There's a lot of football to talk about. Toby, first and foremost, how are we doing? How's your Thanksgiving? How's everything been for you, man?
My Thanksgiving was great. Got to see my Michigan Wolverines beat Ohio State in the shoe this weekend, and then I got to go in person and see Syracuse beat the Canes at home. So it was a good weekend for me. Thanksgiving was probably the least memorable thing about it. But how about you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty similar. My Thanksgiving went poor because my favorite football team, the Miami Dolphins, did what they always do. They lost to a good team. So that didn't go well. But on the college end, both me and you, FAU football fans, through the through the great moments, through the very, very, very low moments, we've always been a fan. We've always been there at the games. Um, well, they did what? Wow. They had a signature win, 63 to 16. I apologize. Where was that all season? Doesn't matter. We'll talk later about FAU did make a new hire and announced it yesterday. Um, but yeah, as you said, you're a Michigan fan. Your dad went there. You're a Syracuse fan because you essentially lived there all your life. You're an FAU fan
Mhm.
because you go here. Imagine you parlayed their spreads, how much money you would have made. I mean, that
A
would have been
lot,
crazy. A lot of
a lot.
money. Yeah, but that's fine. We'll talk NFL first. So what we're gonna do is, since we're going till 6, started at 5:15. We'll do a 5:40 break. We'll take a quick break then. We'll get into college football for the back 15 minutes. But Toby, we have a Sporkle lined up for the NFL per usual. We love doing Sporkles, especially for the NFL. Why don't you fire it up? This one's a tough one. I won't lie. This one is challenging. If anyone's viewing right now, we probably will need you. Um, but we're gonna get into it. Scroll up a little bit. I want to see the prompt again.
Last
Uh,
four, last 4,000-yard rushers for each team.
I think we could do this. Because if they're good, we're gonna get it.
I'd be surprised. You got 10
We
minutes. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get better than the average score. That's the goal. Let's hit it.
All right, let's do it. Where do you want to start? Dolphins.
Yeah. So do Mostert. Then we'll do Ajayi. Then we'll do Bush. Try
Yes, we
William.
will.
Try 14. Try
Williams,
Williams.
yes.
Did he put it in? Put in Martin.
Yeah.
Let's. We gotta spam. We gotta spam names. Do Bell.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Um,
And then I know the 14 Dolphins are gonna screw me over. I should know that pretty well. Do Matt Forte. I wouldn't. I mean, I know he wasn't a Dolphin, but I know he's gonna be on
you got
there for
nothing
the.
for the Bears.
All right, Bills. Let's do Cook. Um, Damn. I mean, 2017. That's before even Singletary got there. We're not gonna know that. Ravens. Would that be Dobbins for 2020 or no? I think he was drafted after
He's
that.
never been
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
enough, right?
Yeah, no. Let's do the Bengals. Let's go Mixon. Do Hill too. I have a feeling
Yeah,
Jeremy
Jeremy
Hill's gonna be on
Hill.
there. Yeah.
Bernard, did he have it? No, never that.
Good. I like
Um,
that. I like the guess though. Let's move to the Browns because they got Chubb. Try Hunt too. We know Kareem Hunt's gonna be on there for the Chiefs.
for the
Um,
Chiefs. McFadden for the Raiders.
yeah. Let's get Henry.
Um,
Let's get Henry out of there. Let's get all right. The Patriots. Who was their running back in 2022? That was just too.
like James White,
That
Sonny
might be
Michelle, they never had 1,000 yard.
Stevenson.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Okay.
I'm just gonna
And
say
then
what?
yeah, no, you'll get a white. Why don't we throw in a
You were never getting
brown?
Wendell White.
A Brown, a Black, and a Thomas. Just get the common names out of there.
You get Smith in there yet? No,
Yeah.
there's no Smith.
No Smith. That's criminal. All right,
No
Eagles.
Smith. Um,
Well, we know Saquon's going to be on there for some team, at least the Giants, I would imagine. Um, I'm pretty sure Swift ran for a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah, we got a Thomas Jones. Shout out David Scamperino.
Detroit Lions 23.
Dude, I bet Chris
I'm
Carson's
done.
done it for the Seahawks. And then who's the new guy? Walker. Walker's definitely done it. I'd hope so. Yeah. All right, Niners. Let's do McCaffrey. He'll be on there for a few teams.
Did I spell that right?
I can't see but McCaffrey's definitely on there. At least for the Panthers.
Is it two C's? Is it two C's?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, it's two C's. Yeah. McCaffrey. No, it's R before
There
E.
we go. No, I got it.
Okay, why don't we throw a Taylor in there? We know Taylor did it. Why don't we throw? I bet Coleman. Maybe Coleman for the Falcons.
Turner.
Turner. Yeah, he'll be there. I'm trying to think that 2016 team. I knew it was Tevin Coleman, but they had another guy. They had that. Who's the other running back they had? He was the Kyle Shanahan guy. I'm gonna forget. Whatever. Okay. Cardinals. We know Connor did it. James Conner. It's Conner. David
11.
Johnson already got.
Yeah.
Let's see. Commanders. Why don't we get Eckler? I know Eckler has had to have done it. That's for sure.
No.
He never did it?
No, it doesn't look like it. Unless there's a C in there that I missed.
Well, go to the Chargers. What year did they do it? Where's the Chargers? Damn, they're so irrelevant we can't even find them.
2017, 2013, 2008.
Ugh, those are ugly. Well, we know Melvin.
We know LT out of the way.
We knew Gordon did it for the Chargers in 2017.
Did Gurley ever have a 1,000-yard year?
Yeah, I do have. Let's do Josh Jacobs.
Jake.
Let's throw in.
Jacobs out.
We got.
Who's Lions 23?
Who
did you say?
What's his name? David Montgomery. Then we got a good old Chicago Bear from 2022. I'm trying to think of who they had before. Who was the
really short dude? That really short dude.
Tariq Cohen. Yeah, he might have done it in 2017. If he did that, that's impressive.
No.
Who was the Bears running back right before? They got Swift and all of them. Couldn't tell you. Commanders. If we don't get the Commanders, and we don't get one person for the Commanders right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
All right, Jaguars. Do ETN for the Jaguars.
Texans. Foster.
Yeah, he'll be on there.
The only one I'm gonna be able to.
Some of these teams before relevancy. Do Moreno for the Broncos. I bet No Sean Moreno has done it before.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, some of these teams.
Lindsay?
Yeah, nice pull. Oh my gosh. What up, Bob?
What up, Bobby?
If you want to help out, feel free. We'll get you on the screen soon. All right.
Throw you in on this, Bobby. Just give me a sec, Drew.
Everyone, welcome to a special guest. You can pause it right now. Pause it right now.
We can.
We're
good.
Yeah. No, pause it. Trust me. We need. Yeah. There we go. let's get Bobby up there. All right. Welcome, special guest on for the first time. Bobby, how we doing, man?
What's going on? Thanks for having me, Drew.
Nothing much. Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for joining us. But yeah, we're gonna get back to it. This is NFL last 4 1,000-yard rushers. We're kind of struggling on some of the irrelevant franchises, in my opinion. Yeah, so we're gonna need to get to it.
Yeah,
Did we do Doug Martin yet? I swear Doug Martin's on this.
We've said Martin, so.
Oh yeah, true. Who the hell was a Raven before? I'm thinking like Justice Hill, like
DeMarco Murray for the Cowboys.
There's a very obvious one that we missed there.
Yeah, sure.
Who was after Ray Rice though? Like who was right after him?
Couldn't tell you. Throw in DeMarco Murray for the Cowboys before we lose that. Hey, there we go. We got a few Murrays.
Let's get that 2007 Raiders.
Yeah, we're gonna get that all right.
Deep in the bag for that one. Jamal Charles. for the Chiefs,
Charles,
right?
yeah, he's gotta. Steelers.
Um,
Who's the do Harris for the Steelers?
2010. I feel like that should. I feel like all those Steelers ones should be gettable. Who's
Is it
2010?
not Jerome
Who's-
Bettis? Or is that?
That might be 2007 now, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Um,
Who's the Eagle in 22? Who's right before
Miles Sanders.
Swift? Yeah, there we go.
nice. 2014.
LaShawn McCoy for sure for the Eagles.
Yeah, McCoy.
Yeah. 2007. Westbrook.
Yeah, Brian Westbrook.
There we go. Cleared them. The Packers should be super.
2012.
Did Eddie Lacy ever hit 1,000?
Yeah, Lacey's going to be 14. I'm trying to think of these fantasy drafts we used to do back in the day.
2009. Insane. Who was
2019
before,
Texans.
like Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, could beats me. I have short term memory now. The Jaguars in 2020 should be so gettable. It was
Yeldon.
this
No,
is-
I'm just playing.
no, imagine it was DJ Yeldon though.
That'd be the most random
Yeah.
poll.
Texans 2019, like 20. I guess I'm forgetting 2019.
Seahawks 2014's got to be.
We have half of them, and we have 1:30 left.
Falcons 22 as well. No, I'm thinking. Who did they have right before?
Algier? No shot.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Ezekiel Elliott 2021.
I tried Elliott already.
Did he try Pollard yet? Pollard might have done it. Yeah. 21 Cowboys. That also sounds like Zeke. How is Ezekiel Elliott never running for 1,000 yards? I think you spelled Elliott wrong. I think there's two T's.
Adrian Peterson.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah, throw Peterson on there. He might even be there for the. No. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew he was going to be there for the
Yeah,
Commanders.
Adrian
I
Peterson
didn't want to
for
say it.
Commanders.
That's how, dude. They have such a piss poor rushing attack. Throw Kamara down there for the Saints. Why don't we?
Nope.
So we don't. Kamara's not the Saint. The 22 Falcons gonna piss me off. I know that. I feel like all the recent players should be on there. No, yeah, I can't think of anyone for the Falcons. I thought Tevin Coleman. Who was the other? There was a 1-2.
2017.
Is
There was-
Marshall Falk 2001 Rams?
Or
Yep.
yeah. Good last minute pull. Who's the Falcon 2016 and 22? This is gonna get me mad.
Frank.
It was Algier, bro. I spelled it wrong.
Bro, Fields is on there. That's hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. Fields.
Devontae Freeman. Fuck.
I knew
That's what the amount
Freeman
of
was
these
the
that I
guy.
don't get because
Yeah.
I can't spell.
That's unfortunate.
I could have got Ahmad
Who
Brown
else?
shot. Who was the Finn from 2014? Lamar Miller. Yeah, that was super gettable.
We were not getting
Jarvis Green
Ruben
Ellis.
Jerome.
We didn't even think of a running back, dude. I mean,
Lamar.
quarterbacks.
Then Jarvis Green Ellis.
He was on there twice, man. CJ Anderson was gettable. I knew that.
You couldn't pull Lamar Miller?
I
Drew.
I
That
blanked.
should have been a poll.
Yeah, that should have easily been a pull, but
Damn.
whatever. Well, what was the average score and how did we do? Alfred Morris, former
How do
FAU,
I see that?
and Gibson. Go up. All right, you see, go
Oh,
up a
you're
little more.
2% below average.
That's inexcusable. Whatever. So be it.
It's tough, man. If we had Bobby the whole time, we probably would have done a little bit better.
A lot better, in my opinion.
Tough.
But
tough.
There's a few names I never would have gotten.
Yeah, no, there's a few that we definitely would have never gotten. We've never gotten 100%. Wait, no, we have. We've gotten 100% on a Sporkle before on the show, but it's
Have we?
whatever. Yeah, but it was an easy one. It was colleges that former receivers went to. We almost didn't get
Oh,
Thielen. He went
all
to some school in Minnesota. But all right, we'll talk a little bit more about Bobby. Thanks for joining, man. First show. Tell us a
Absolutely.
little bit about yourself. How are we doing, man? And maybe some teams you're fans of. A little bit.
Doing
a little bit
great.
about you.
Doing great. Just getting off work, so trying to dial in on the sports world. I'm a big Eagles fan. Penn State. Phillies, Flyers, Philly, everything. Uh, Die hard FAU alum, so kind of brutal rooting for them, I'm sure. But
Okay.
yeah, Philly, everything.
We've had a few of those. We've had a few Philly fans on. We'll talk Penn State later in the college football part, but as you know Nate McGinnis, right, Bobby?
Sure do.
Yeah, he's been on the show before. Big Philly guy. But we'll talk a little bit about the NFL. The number one thing for me, you guys, if you had to guess, what's the number one talking point from the NFL this past weekend? Just give me a guess. What would it be?
The way the
You're asking
Chiefs
me?
won.
What did you say, Toby?
The way the Chiefs won.
Yeah, that's up there. We'll talk about it. But Bobby, you have a guess about maybe the number one talking point for
I think the number one talking point could also, be the number one team in the entire league, known as the Philadelphia Eagles.
you guys have missed. We'll talk about both of those. But the number one talking point, Trevor Lawrence almost died on a football field. Aziz Al-Shaair. Do you
Oh
guys
wait,
see that hit?
I have one. Sorry to interrupt, but I think the number one talking point could be that the Dolphins continue to struggle in cold weather games, and Tua's, I believe, 0-8.
Well,
Just
I,
something
I,
to
I,
just something to talk about later, something to think about for now.
one low blow, but Tua played great, so I don't really see the correlation there. But the Dolphins did not play great, and maybe that does have substance to it, in my opinion. Is there a lot to talk about? Honestly, I don't even think so, because I think the writing's on the wall. I think it is absolutely right that the Dolphins cannot be good football teams, nor can they play in the cold weather. Probably more on the good football team side. I mean, they've won games in cold weather before, but they in the Mike McDaniel era, I think they've had two good wins, and it was against the Bills and the Ravens their first year. Since then, has not beaten the team over 500 to my knowledge. But we'll get back to it. Aziz Al-Shaair absolutely lays out Trevor Lawrence. Some may say a late slide, most say a cheap shot. What are your guys' thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts?
Toby, I'll
Just
let
the
you go
kind of the
first.
perfect storm, like the perfect storm of a bad hit. It was kind of a late slide. It was right at a first down marker too. So obviously, if you're all shy, you're not just gonna let someone just go and get the first down. But I mean, like when a player gets hurt like that, it's just not good. I mean, he maybe didn't lead with the crown of the helmet. It was still not like the cleanest hit in the world, but. I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that. He's an FAU alum too, so I'm going to tread lightly with that.
Yeah, I don't know. As a former below average high school linebacker, it's definitely tough. Like you don't have time to think about how you're gonna hit somebody when a ball carrier is running towards you. Uh, I think his history of dirty plays that's been going viral on Twitter doesn't really help his situation. I think especially the NFL is just in a tough spot. You kind of have to suspend him, I feel like, just because of the hit and how viral it went. If you don't suspend him, you just kind of say you don't really care about your quarterbacks, especially in an offensive driven league. Um, I don't necessarily think he was trying to hit him as hard as he did or try to hurt him. Uh, Obviously, it's an unfortunate situation. You never want to see somebody with their arms like that and lose like full control. But with that being said, I mean, it's the NFL. These defensive guys, you got to play hard, and especially in a offensive favored league where you're not really going to get a whole lot of calls your way if you're a defensive player. You got to go out there and you got to hit hard and you got to run fast and fly around. So I mean, it's football. It sucks to say that it happens in football. It's definitely not something anybody wants to see. I just think it's a tough situation. Um, but I think the suspension you have to suspend him.
I agree with all your points. My opinion, I think he slid a little bit late. Um, I think there was a scenario where Aziz probably can get away from where he hit. I wouldn't say he went out of his way to make sure that didn't happen, but it was a big play. Um, Trevor Lawrence is a big quarterback. He's 6'6", 230 pounds. He's gonna, he could run over a dude. So I understand from the defense's perspective. What I don't respect is the national outrage. I think it's a bit much. Suspend this dude indefinitely. Suspend him for a year. I kind of think 3 games is a little too much. I mean, I think it's a bang bang play. Um, so here's a statement written by John Runyon, who is a part of the NFL Players Union of some sort. Um, here's what he said, and I think this is kind of disrespectful in my opinion. During your game against the Jacksonville Jaguars on December 1st, with 4 minutes 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter, you were involved in a play that the league considers unacceptable and a serious violation of the playing rules. Video shows you striking the head/neck area of Trevor Lawrence after he clearly goes down in a feet first slide. You led with your forearm helmet and delivered a forceful blow to the head neck area to your opponent when you had time and space to avoid such contact. Simple enough. But here's where it gets a little interesting. After the illegal hit, you proceeded to engage in a brawl, which you escalated when you pulled down an opponent down to the ground by his face mask. After the referee announced that you were disqualified for the hit and your unsportsmanlike acts, you removed your helmet and re-engaged with your opponent while walking down across the field, which started another physical confrontation near the end zone. Your lack of sportsmanship and respect for the game of football and all of those who play, coach, and enjoy watching it is troubling and does not reflect the core values of the NFL. Your continued disregard for NFL playing rules puts the health and safety of both you and your opponents in jeopardy and will not be tolerated. Last paragraph specifically, thought that's a bit much. I feel like that's kind of disrespecting a player that's played hard. Is he the cleanest player? No. I mean, I think that's a bit much, in my opinion. Would you guys agree, disagree? Kind
Yeah,
of
I mean,
attacks his
they're not his
character.
mom. They're
Yeah, I
not
mean,
his mom.
yeah. I mean, you're a player. You're not even a league official. You're not the commissioner. I think that's enough of that.
I
Uh,
think the fact that he said that he engaged and was instigating a fight or in the brawl is definitely wrong. I mean, you can see that like 6 people jumped on him right away.
He got
What is he?
jumped.
yeah,
Was he? Yeah, you can do two things. You can just go ragdoll and let everyone whoop on you, or you can try to defend yourself like any one of us would have in that situation. I don't think he was trying to fight just to be like, oh, like what's up? Like I don't like. You could tell right away when he hit him. That screenshot of him right when he hit him, he gets up and he's like looking at the ref, like, "Why'd you throw the flag?" I mean, that's you kind of gotta expect that. Uh, yeah, I think that's a little exaggerated. That paragraph for sure.
I'd have to agree. But other news. So you guys watched the Thanksgiving games, right? The one that stood out to me, obviously, I'm a Dolphins fan. Besides that one, the Chicago Bears game. The Bears. They were getting beaten bad by the NFL's maybe the best team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. Down big. They're mounting a comeback. They're starting to enter that field goal range territory. They have a timeout. 20 seconds go. They don't call a timeout. The Chicago Bears. They let the clock run down to 7 seconds, where Caleb Williams holds the ball and throws the ball to the end zone. In fact, it didn't even reach the end zone. And the Bears lose when they had a timeout in their pocket and they had a chance to tie the game up with a long field goal. I'm standing there Thanksgiving Day with my family. What are these morons doing? Just call the timeout. After that, Bears coach Matt Eberflus the next day says, um, in fact, he went through pressers. He said that he believes he will definitely be the head coach of the Chicago Bears for the rest of the season. Well, actually, they fired him the very next day, so they let him go through the pressers and all that. Thoughts on that, guys? Well deserved, warranted. What's up?
It's about as well deserved as it gets. I mean, you
Yeah.
can't take them. You can't take the timeouts home with you. That's something we say all the time about not just football, other sports too. But
Yep.
to just blatantly let your team lose a game, I think everybody watching was wondering why he wasn't calling a timeout. So I mean, I
Yeah.
don't understand why you, with 20 seconds left, give your rookie quarterback the ability to change the play at the line and to go for a touchdown to win the game. Makes no sense.
Yeah, a 10-year-old that plays Madden would know to call a timeout there. Um, I just think it was a complete brain fart, and just his face when they show him on the sideline. There's some coaches where they make mistakes and they'll show them on the sideline, and it just looks like they're frozen. Like Mike McCarthy is also one that comes to mind where they just make a dumb they make a dumb play call, they call a stupid timeout, or they don't call something. They'll just pan to them on the sideline and they're just staring off into the distance like they're not even thinking about anything. And I think that just makes it look so much worse. So yeah, I think he should have been fired. It was the first time the Bears in their history had fired a coach mid-season. and
Wow.
I definitely think it was deserved
Yeah,
for
Bears
sure.
historic franchise. There was a time when they were 4-2. Caleb Williams was getting his feet under him. I understand the NFC North, a really tough conference this year. I mean, the Green Bay Packers are definitely a top 8 team in the NFL. They're third in their own division at 9-3. Name a time that ever happens. Never, because the Lions are never really like that. The Vikings are never really like that. But all three of those teams are elite. The Bears definitely need make a good hire if they want to if they want to be relevant in that division, because looks like Kevin O'Connell's not going anywhere. He's making guys like Sam Darnold look great. Dan Campbell's not going anywhere. Maybe his assistants will, but I mean those Lions are a machine. And then um, yeah, and then the Packers. Matt LaFleur has always been good. I mean he's developed Jordan Love into the quarterback that he is today. So yeah, the Bears better make a good hire. We will see. I wouldn't expect anything until probably the end of the season, in my opinion. Next up on the agenda, one thing that stuck out to me like a sore thumb: the Chargers. They moved to 8-4. They beat the Falcons. Not that win doesn't stand out to me. What stands out to me is that the Falcons only score 13 points. They've been an explosive offense all year, except kind of recently they've kind of been stagnant. Kirk Cousins, 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a 17-13 loss. Do you guys think it's time to pull the plug on Kirk Cousins and get old man Michael Penix, who's not really an old man? He's really a rookie, but he kind of is an old man. Do you think it's his time to start in the NFL?
I feel like now's the best time. I mean, if you're not going to start him now, I mean, when really are you going to? I feel like there's not really much to lose with starting him. I feel like he's a good enough quarterback, even as a rookie, where you can go out there and probably give you a really solid chance at winning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean Kirk has definitely been struggling lately. But I mean, how much did they pay him? 180 million?
A lot of money. Yeah, probably
A
like
lot of
45
money.
million a
So
year. Yeah.
it kind of goes along with the Giants, where you pay a guy 100 million and you're either going to cut him or bench him in the next year. I I mean, you're not going to want to play a guy who's struggling, but you also were the one to make him that much money. I feel like if you're the Falcons, if you start Michael Penix and he plays great, it's even better. You could one keep him, use him to grow, or you could use him as trade capital, trade him away as an asset. But if he goes out there and stinks it up, you realize you don't want him. He's not your franchise quarterback, and his trade value kind of goes down. So that's the downside I could see on it. And you're also sitting a guy you're paying 180 million, who's not getting any younger, not going to get any faster, any more mobile. So it's definitely a tough predicament. Kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, they put themselves in a tough spot. The thing about Kirk Cousins, I mean, since November 3rd, so it's been an entire month. His last 3 games, he has not thrown a touchdown pass, but he has thrown an interception in all of those games. Um, I don't know, man. It's looking really bad. But it's like the Browns, Deshaun Watson, they couldn't bench him. Look at how much money they're paying him. The most guaranteed money in the NFL ever. It took him getting injured for Jameis Winston to start and them to start picking up some wins and some offense. Tough spot for the Falcons. We'll see where they go because they are in a really tight race up top with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for their division. Their season's far from over. They do have intentions of winning their division. Bobby, Eagles, maybe the best team in the NFL. You said it. They look great against the Ravens. They were down 9-0, and it didn't phase them. Justin Tucker missed that extra point. They come back. They're feeding A.J. Brown. They're feeding Saquon. They're tush pushing all over the place. It looks like one thing that stands out to me with the Eagles, it's different from the last few years. I just think Vic Fangio has those guys playing really well. I mean, former Dolphin DC. Didn't really want to stay in Miami. He leaves for Philly, where his family's from. And those guys are playing great. Quinyon Mitchell stands out to me. Cooper DeJean stands out to me. That hit on Derrick Henry is something else. Just give me a little rundown on your Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the defense is playing lights out. I think Vic Fangio is a big difference maker. Just when you look
Yeah,
at the aggressiveness, at the tackling, just look at everything compared to the end of last year. We got young guys playing well. We got rookies, DeJean and Quinyon playing out of their minds. We also have some younger guys like Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, who
yeah,
they're who are still young guys that are taking a big step up this year. Jalen Carter has been if not like a top five, the best defensive tackle, at least in the NFC, if not the entire league. We got Nolan Smith if he's not leading the team, he's up there in sacks. He's had a great span of the past few games, especially losing Brandon Graham. You're gonna need some of that D line to step up. And yeah, I mean, Vic Fangio has definitely been a huge difference maker in this team. You can tell everybody buys in. Just on that big hit from DeJean, you'd see the entire sideline getting hyped. Everybody's jumping up and down. Everybody's excited for each other, and that in my mind is just a sign of a team that loves to go to work. They love playing with each other, and they want to play for each other, which is a lot different than the team last year, where you could kind of tell everyone's not really bought in. Not everybody's on the same page. And we realize we have a team where we don't really need to do too much. And I think Jalen Hurts has taken not necessarily a step up, but he's come to that realization where if you look in the beginning of the year, the first game, especially against the Packers, you can tell he's trying to do a little bit too much. He forced a few throws, makes some bad mistakes, and now he realizes he's got talent all around him. You got the best running back in the league. You got one of the best receivers in the league. When Devontae Smith's healthy, you have one of the best wide receiver twos in the league. You have a great tight end. So where I know it's kind of disrespectful to say, but he's becoming more of a game manager, which I don't really take that as a disrespectful thing, because he realizes as long as he doesn't make mistakes and he doesn't turn the ball over, he has weapons to go to. He has a running back he can hand the ball off to, and you can just blink and he's gone. He's 90 yards down the field. You have a receiver where any ball he catches, there's a threat of him breaking it loose. So I think he's definitely realized that as the year's gone on. You can look at his numbers. His passing yards aren't going up, but his turnovers are going down, which is my main concern. And yeah, I mean, how star-studded our offense is, it's really our defense that's been showing up in these big games, and that's been keeping us in it.
Yeah, I don't really think even saying game manager is disrespectful. I mean, that the team's a machine right now. More people should be game managers. How about that? Don't try to be a hero. Rely on your defense. The Eagles are buying into that because they've got a great O line, a great run game, good receivers, and a damn good defense. That's your championship formula right there. But that's all the NFL we're going to talk about. We're actually going to skip break because we don't have too much more time. We only have about 11 more minutes. I want to bring it up. Haven't really got to talk about it. We'll do college football. FAU fires Tom Herman about 2 weeks ago. Last night they announced new head coach Zach Kittley, former Texas Tech offensive coordinator the last 2 years. Before that was at Western Kentucky, where he was named the best offensive coordinator in the country, developing Bailey Zappi, where he had that record-breaking year where he almost had he had more passing yards than Joe Burrow. Before that was at Houston Baptist, where he had an explosive offense and brought Zappi with him to Western Kentucky. First glance, this is the route I wanted to go. I wanted a offensive genius. I wanted a young guy. I wanted a players coach. I think that's probably where FAU failed in the last two hires. They went retread head coach. They went with a guy that has failed and got fired from their last spot. I'm not worried about the offense. Like, simple as that. I know that our offense is going to be good, and I know that Kittley is going to bring in good guys. I think the question remains, he is a first-time head coach. That might come with some growing pains. Maybe situationally there might be some. But I think the big thing is, can he hire the right defensive coordinator? Signs tell me, I don't know. Like, he's never been a head coach before, so we'll see how well connected he is. Toby, Bobby, as FAU students, excited, not excited, jury's still out. Look, just initial thoughts. Maybe grade it if you want to give it a grade.
I mean, a grade, I would probably give it like a B. It's a solid hire. I mean, I like the direction.
Yeah.
I like the idea going with a young guy, an offensive mind, like you said. I mean, the worst thing about this FAU team this season was just going to the games and not seeing a good offense. Just annoying week after week. So now that we actually have a coach who can run a high-powered offense, I'm looking forward to that. I'm a little worried about how he's going to be able to maintain our defensive recruits or just recruit on the defensive side in general. Obviously, it's not just going to be him, so I'm not too concerned about that, but that definitely is at the top of my head in terms of concerns. But I like the hire as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him. I've just been kind of seeing stuff on social media. Obviously, I like the offensive mindset of him. Likes to throw the ball, likes to spread it out, likes to play fast. And if there's one thing that FAU struggles with is getting students to the game. And a great way to start to do that is have a good offense, have something exciting to actually watch, have a good product of football, like you were saying. But yeah, like you were saying, Toby, about the recruiting and the defensive part of things, it's definitely something to worry about. But like I said, I don't really have a whole lot on him. So I don't even know what to grade it. I was pretty excited about Herman just because he's a name that you recognize, but obviously that doesn't always work out. So you never know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty optimistic, but we'll see.
I'm
It's a
guil-
tough conference for sure.
It is, and the schedule's not too easy next year. Got a little easier getting Iowa off the non-conference. I am also guilty. I was very excited for the Herman hire and how it didn't work out. I guess there were maybe some signs that we didn't really look at when he was at Texas. It wasn't perfect there. Obviously, Sark has done a much better job with Texas taking over since then. Um, the maybe a thing that scares me with Kitley is no, he's never coached in Florida, so we'll see how his recruiting is. But also, I think our recruiting was fine with Herman's era, and he never coached in Florida. Problem was player development; they couldn't develop after that. So right there. But I really like what Bobby said with the way a good way to start to getting students to games. Obviously, besides winning, it would be exciting offense, something fun to watch. I mean, we watched. I'd rather watch a 45-42 loss rather than a 24-7 loss, which we've seen a few times. So right there, that's a good start. Yeah, also, I'm not going to call it a home run because there are those factors. We'll see. One thing to note: youngest coach in FBS right now. He's 33 years old. He takes over for Kenny Dillingham, the Arizona State head coach, former Oregon offensive coordinator. He's 34, so he's now the youngest. Dillingham has Arizona State in playoff contention. So interesting hire there for Kitley. We'll see what he does. Maybe next week we'll have some news on who his defensive coordinator and offensive coordinator will be. Maybe he brings in some recruits in the next few weeks. But it's conference championship weekend. We're going to talk about those. We're just going to give maybe a light description. We don't have too much time, but we're going to predict. So we're going to predict and we're going to jot it down. Oregon versus Penn State. I'm excited about this one. This is probably the best, in my opinion, because the SEC championship between Georgia and Texas has already happened. Oregon Penn State's exciting. Oregon's the only undefeated team in the country. Penn State has that stereotype behind them where they can't beat the best team, but they'll beat everyone else. James Franklin will be put to the test. Give me Oregon in this one. I don't think it'll be a blowout, though. I do think it'll be close, but I'll take Oregon in this one.
Yeah, agreed.
Agreed. Bobby, what are your thoughts as the Penn State guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty conflicted. Um, I'm leaning towards taking Oregon. Just James Franklin's track record in big games isn't good. Back in what 2016, I could be a year or two off, but
Yeah,
2016 was the last Big Ten championship, and it was against Wisconsin. And I
yeah,
mean, I know Wisconsin's they're a competitive school, but I mean they're not Ohio State and they're not Michigan. Those two brands are who James Franklin can't beat. If it comes down to X's and O's, I I just I think Dan Lanning is a better X's and O's coach. I think James Franklin's a great recruiter. I think he's done a good job with the program from what he came into. But again, I mean, over and over, year after year, it's the same thing. The college football playoff is perfect for Penn State in terms of they'll be able to get in. They're always a top 10 team. They're going to
yeah,
be able to get in because they're going to beat teams like Minnesota. They're going to beat the Iowas. They're going to beat the Wisconsins, the Nebraskas because they have the advantage in recruiting and they have the coaching, the little bit of coaching advantage. But they'll always drop one of those a year. Like they almost lost to Minnesota this year. So yeah, I'm thinking Oregon. I think Oregon's gonna cover, and I just think our defense won't be able to catch up to their speed and to their receivers. Like you saw, we run a lot of man. Our defensive coordinator loves man coverage for some reason, and that's all we were running against Ohio State, and we just don't have the corners to be able to keep up with those receivers at Ohio State. And I don't think it'll be any different against Oregon.
Yeah, all right. Sweeping the Big Ten. We will move on to the ACC, where it's Clemson versus SMU. In my opinion, Clemson isn't even as good as Miami. I think they kind of got a little bit lucky with that in that regard. But also Miami, they ran into a tough Syracuse team on the road, and they lost a game against Georgia Tech that they probably should have won. But also, both those teams have been playing really good football this back half of the year. SMU, on the other hand, absolute machine. Probably the most underrated team in the country right now. They lost to the Big 12's BYU, who is undefeated all year and supposed to be the number 4 seed in the playoff before kind of falling off. SMU plays probably the best complementary football in the country right now. I'm going to take SMU because nothing tells me that they shouldn't win. What about you guys?
All right, I agree. I think SMU.
I'm taking Clemson. I'm taking Clemson. I love SMU the way they've been playing, but I just think I think Clemson takes it.
I could see that, man. With Dabo wins those big games. He needs a little more respect. Georgia, Texas. I might go against the popular vote here. I love Georgia in this one. I don't actually think Quinn Ewers can play against the best defenses. I think he struggles against that. I think Georgia knows when to send the blitz, and I think they know how to get home with 4. Give me Georgia in this one.
I agree. I think Georgia's going to find a way to win.
Okay, yeah, Georgia. I'm with Georgia too. I'm the same way about the defense, and I think Ewers is a great QB, but yeah, I think he definitely struggles in those against those good defenses.
Yeah. Fourth and last power conference. We'll do the 2 prominent G5s after Iowa State, ASU. Probably the least intriguing in my opinion, but strictly for vibes, I am fully rooting for Arizona State because I love their coach Kenny Dillingham. And they have a fun offense. And I don't like Iowa State. They win a lot of games. They also have a good coach, but they're not that fun in my opinion. So I'm going to go with Arizona State.
Yeah.
What you guys got? Arizona State?
Arizona State, right. Yep.
Good deal. All right, it's a sweeper there. 2 sweepers. We got Oregon and Arizona State. Maybe parlay those. I'm going to because I trust the boys. We'll go to the American Athletic Conference. This is important. Tulane versus Army because, and we only got 1 minute, boys, so we're going to get our answers in quick. If Boise State loses and Army wins, there's a chance they're in the playoffs. However, I actually am going to go with Tulane in this. I think they're playing some really good football, and I don't think Army is playing as good as football as they were before. Thoughts?
Yeah, I was on the daily train, but I think Mensa's that guy, so I'm going to go with Tulane with you.
True freshman.
I'm going to go Army. I'm going to go the triple option.
All right. And then Boise State versus UNLV. Boise State has the man, the myth, the legend, Ashton Ginty. UNLV has that fun go-go offense. I'll go with Boise State in this one because nothing tells me they can't win that game. But I really do like UNLV's offensive coordinator, Brendan Marion, who might be going to Wisconsin as their offensive coordinator. He runs that fun offense. Highly suggest you guys look into it if you haven't yet. But thoughts, guys? Boise, UNLV.
Boise.
All right, Boise.
I want to say Boise, but I think UNLV is going to somehow pull it off.
I
love the story with Genty, but UNLV also has a crazy story too with their quarterback who just sat for the rest of the year, and UNLV has stayed competitive and they've won these games and they've found a way to stay in it after losing their quarterback. So I'm going to go with them.
True that. And then that is all we got, boys. We got to get out of here. One last thing, shout out Michigan for beating Ohio State, the highest payroll NIL in the country. I think everyone was rooting for Michigan. Ryan Day will be fired. I think he's fired. No, he's going to get fired. Let's not kid ourselves. Ryan Day can't beat Michigan. But that's all we got, guys. We are out of here. Peace out.